Well, you just have to yes, okay, let me do that again.
Hi, I'm Judi Watts, founder of Ela Earth, and welcome to my very first episode of our new series,
Lessons from a Founder.
In this series, I'll be sharing insights into my own entrepreneurial journey while balancing family life. And today we're diving into a few things that I learned along the way, and hopefully some of those lessons will help you in your business venture. Okay, everyone's a little bit different, but my answer is pretty straightforward. I think it's really important to have a business plan. The way I see it is, if you're going for a job interview, you have a resume. If you start a business, you have a business plan. Your business plan is your resume. You're not going to show up to a job without one. However, business plans are not set in stone. They are not a set and forget. This is something that keeps evolving over time, and it might change as fast as a few weeks, to be completely fair, depending on your growth and your audience. Where you see your business might be actually completely different to where it ends up. I know when I did my first business plan for Ela Earth, my goals were so low as well in this business plan, and every couple of months I had to keep reevaluating those goals, and I had to keep shifting the goalpost basically. And it gave me a really good insight into what I thought my business was going to be. My business kept evolving, so the business plan definitely had to. I feel like it's a really good idea to reevaluate your business plan annually, particularly the more people you get on and the more you learn about your customers and what their needs are, you'll find that you'll keep evolving with them, which is pretty cool, because when you look back at your first business plan for that business, you can see all the benchmarks that you've hit, and it's a really cool thing to look at those milestones. I wouldn't say it's a misconception, but I do feel, and I've seen this a lot, is people take their passion and their hobby and they want to try and make that a business. And I find that your passion and your hobby doesn't always have to become your life's work. Because let's take this as an example. You could be an amazing artist, a painter, but you might be a painter, but it doesn't mean that you need to have some art galleries and own them and run a team and manage it and grow. And I find mixing your hobby with business sometimes can get a little bit tricky, because you can be so good at one thing, but when you own a business, there are so many hats to wear. So I think really thoughtfully and deeply about whether you want your hobby to be the business, and if so, then are you okay to understand the finances and the budgeting, the marketing, the operational side of things? Are you going to get a lease? How long are you going to sign that lease for? Who are you going to employ that's going to help you? Because if that's your business, it can't just be you. You've got to start employing people, and you've got to really operate. You've got to think of the HR side of things. Okay, the idea behind Ela Earth firstly was I saw a lot of brands offering these beautiful, sustainable lifestyles, and that's something that I wanted to be a part of. So I was looking at products that I thought aligned with me. But the more I looked at these products, the sustainable products, I then tried to go completely plastic free in my house and live a very sustainable lifestyle. That was a huge learning curve for me, because what I learned was that was extremely difficult. I was trying to base a business idea around something that just didn't align with me. I feel like if there was something I could change about Ela Earth and my journey, I still wouldn't change that. I think that was really important to go to, because now the products that I bring in, I know align with me, they align with our customers. We have a very clear direction now, but at the very beginning, I just wanted a business. So I tried to find products, and that's not how it worked. It was a very big lesson for me, and I just knew in the end that I had to stay true to me and what I could be proud of. Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's a bit of a follow-on from the last question, to be honest, because I felt when I was trying to live this sustainable life, I just felt like I was an imposter, to be honest. I felt like I had this imposter syndrome, and it didn't fit well for me. So that was probably the biggest thing, just finding a product that really aligned with me so I could feel really comfortable moving forward with the business. Can I start with saying that I make mistakes daily? Mistakes don't just happen at the beginning of business, it is a continuation. And I think the more you can sit in that and accept that the better you're going to be for it. Trial and error, always trial and error. We constantly have that. Each week I ask my staff things that they learned, wins, things that they achieved, etc. And Nicole, our marketing manager, had already come back with some things that she learned of things that we trialed. Some things we trial, some things work, some things don't work. And I think that's really important, because the things that do work, we want to document them, make sure that we can then implement it into the next strategy or keep improving our strategies, whether that is in marketing, whether it's in product, whether it's in understanding our audience or our website. And then the areas we also want to document as well, because those areas teach us so much, and it gives us a really good insight into things that we can improve and keep building on. So do we have trial and error? Absolutely, every day. Okay, so it's probably a little bit different for me, because my journey, my entrepreneurial journey started 19 years ago. So now when I enter into business, I'm entering with a place of experience, which is basically just years of knowledge and trial and error, like we just spoke about. But if there's one thing I would have to say, to be patient. Be patient, because things, and as much as I know this, I still expect things to happen overnight, and it's just not the case. It doesn't happen. And I'll give you a really personal insight here. When I started Ela Earth, I also had another business with my husband, and we sold that business, and I then went full-time into Ela Earth, and I hadn't really done much with Ela Earth while I had the other business. And when I went into it probably for the first 6 months was crickets. I think I would wake up in the morning to maybe like 2 or 3 sales. Oh my God, and I would celebrate those. And then the next day I'd be so sad. And I felt for a period of time, coming off the back of a business that I was really proud of, then stepping into this business and feel like I'm starting from scratch. It really affected me personally, because I felt like I wasn't contributing to my family, that I was failing. So patience is key. I know it's hard, and I know you're going to feel like you're failing sometimes, because that's how I felt. I get it. But when you're on the other side, and you will get there if you are resilient and if you have the patience and a lot of other things, but there's some great lessons, and I hope that you can celebrate those small wins. So I don't know if I've spoken already about wearing lots of hats, but in business you just have to wear every single hat. The hat that I like to put down most of the time is around finance and budget, because I am not a numbers gal. I will be very honest. I love the creative side. I'm very good operationally. But like everyone, you have strengths and weaknesses. So where my weaknesses lie, I make sure that I employ people or surround myself with people that can pick up my weaknesses. So I have a very good finance team in my finance management, in my accountant, who help me to understand the finance and budgeting. They do a lot of that for me. Whether I stick to it or not, well, that really depends on how creative I get. But it's really important to have, but I don't do a lot of it, but I do understand it. I think, again, this one comes back to experience, bringing that level of experience in. I invest early. So again, I forecast growth. As soon as I see a bit of a trajectory, then I know that if I can sustain that, and I'm seeing consistency, then I know if I employ someone else, they're going to take a little bit of the workload from me, which means that I can focus in areas that I need to focus on, which in turn is just going to help that growth phase. And to give you an example, even this year, we went from 6 full-time staff members in the office, including myself. We have just done a big hire. We've hired another 4 people. And is it too early to hire those people? Maybe. But I believe the more people we have on board, the more our resources are stronger. We have more time to dedicate to different areas of our business, and everyone can really hone in on their skills and their job. So I find investing in staff and investing in structure imperative for business. And I just want to say, I know there's a lot of sole traders out there. I know there's a lot of people that try and do everything themselves, and that's great because you can, and you know you can, but it doesn't mean you have to. I think if you can get support around you, you will thrive even more. Even if it's just casually, you've got someone in a couple of days a week, that's great. If you can give that resource to someone else so you can improve or get more business, don't forget it might be costing you money, but it actually makes you money in the long run. And you need to remember that your investment, there's a return on investment. It's your ROI. What is your ROI? And is it worth it for you? Absolutely. As someone who is really strong in operations and analytics, I would have to say that systems is kind of one of my favorite things. I love learning about new systems. I love implementing new systems because it's all around process. So there's nothing that I would change necessarily, but I'll tell you two things. Firstly, Asana has been an absolute godsend to my business and other businesses that I've been involved in. Asana is basically a project management system and a task management system. Everyone in my operation uses it, and we will continue to use it for years to come. So our whole business is there. I could talk to you about Asana for a whole episode, but I won't. Secondly, I implemented another system called Sin7. It's an inventory management system which works really well with e-commerce businesses. However, I implemented that earlier than I needed to. And the reason I did that is because I forecasted growth and I knew if we grew that I would need this system. And I made sure that we got rid of any teething issues that we had, and everyone was fully trained and onboarded in this system before our growth happened. And by doing that, we had a very seamless growth season. However, just on a little caveat to that, I really like Sin7. Again, so much I can say about that, but it's 90% great and 10% a pain in the butt. Still, we're a year and a half into using this system, and we do still have teething issues, but I feel like it's less about the user and perhaps more about the system itself. Sorry, Sin7. I would probably just say take the personal side out of it. Yeah, I feel like if you're reaching a really large audience, it's really hard to please everyone. So I think just take the personal side out of it and just learn if someone gives you feedback or constructive feedback, and try and always do better. Since I met my husband, I've always worked for myself. So it really hasn't changed that much, to be completely fair. My kids have only known me to work for myself and have my own business. But what I like about being a founder and having a business is, and I don't want to give you the wrong impression, but there is freedom in business. Not a lot, so don't think you're going on holidays and you're having nights off or weekends off, because your mind never stops ticking. But I know that I've been able to create a bit of a balance with my family due to the position that I'm in. So I can take my kids to school if I need to. I can show up to their school assemblies. I can be there to drop them to their after school activities. So I like that that's the lifestyle that I get to create as being a founder. But in saying that, I might be at those school activities and I might need to work. I might then have to make up for that work when I get home that night. And when I'm on holidays, you're never switched off. So unlike someone who can work their 9 to 5 or work a job that they really love, there is a chance for them to switch off. I never do, ever switch off. But I kind of like that too, because I run at a very high level, so it suits me. I would say one thing is branding. If you have a strong brand, people are loyal. We have really loyal customers, which I'm so grateful. Hello to you all, by the way. Thank you. But that's because of everything we've been able to achieve. Our quality of product, our service, our marketing. We also show them the lifestyle that they can create with the products that we use. If you can make sure that you're telling a story through your branding, you're making people feel like they need that product, then I think right there you've got a winner. So just understand your audience, work out how you can get into the hands of those TikTokers or influencers, and how you can really reach a wider audience. And I think make sure that you have all the systems behind you so that you can filter all of those products out and still maintain a really happy customer. And that comes also down to your customer service. So all over, or all rounder, I would say branding.